Today I'm at the Red Bull Ring and today I'm telling you 2 common mistakes when you're out and about creating your car content. And I can tell you straight away, the #1 problem I hear is that the audio from the cars aren't there. Usually people are happy with putting some music over their car shots and calling it a day, but that just leaves you with a very soulless video and nothing you should strive for. And the second point is that you really need variety when you're filming cars. It is so important. You need the ups, like that, and you need the downs. You need to go up. So you need to have your ups and you need to have your downs. You cannot only have hero shots, you cannot only have the most amazing shots. Because if you only have the most amazing shots, then no shot is amazing. So you need to build up the video and then you reward it. And then you slow down again and you build it up and you reward. That's how every video should be made, and especially car videos. So don't only film the corner shots, film the cars braking, accelerating. You also need the pit shots. You also need people working in the pit, someone grabbing a tool from a tool chest, checking tire pressures, maybe someone putting on a helmet and getting in a car. Those shots are equally as important as these amazing shots of the main straights, but it is all too easy to just fall into the trap of only filming here. Something that used to happen for us, and usually we are 3 to 6 people on these track events filming for the same company, is we all ended up with amazing hero shots, but we didn't really have any variety. And that's the #1 thing we've been learning these past couple of years as we've been evolving our filmmaking, and that's why I can tell you what you shouldn't do and what you should do. Someone that is a lot smarter than me once told me that the most important thing for a video isn't having the best image quality and having the most amazing visuals. It is audio. So you see the Porsche GT3 RS behind us. We're gonna rig that one up for audio, and we're going to put the microphones inside the engine bay actually. The thing about putting it near the exhaust is that it's way too loud. And internal microphones, you know, smaller microphones, their maximum dB level is around 130 to maybe 136. And exhaust that close to the tip, they can easily exceed that. And as I'm sure you know, a microphone is just a reversed speaker. So it's the literal element that cannot be pushed far enough. So even if you're recording in the 32-bit, if the microphone's max pressure is reached, it's gonna clip no matter what. We usually stick to using DJI Mic 2 and maybe the Rode Wireless Pro. They are cheap enough, so if they get lost or whatever, it's not the end of the world, and the audio quality is more than good enough. The internal recording is great because when the cars are going around the track, of course you're gonna lose track of them, and you're gonna lose the audio. So always internal recording when you're trying to get car audio. If there's anything you take away from this video, then please do remember, audio is 50% of the video. Some people even say that it's 90% of the video. Remember the audio, it is the most important part. You also usually do not get perfect audio all around the track. When the cars are going down the main straight, like you can hear now, there's so much wind noise, you're probably not going to get any good audio. But when they brake and then accelerate out of a corner, that's when you get the best audio. You can hear it rolling through the gears, and that's the part you should pick up. So don't fret if all of it isn't usable. I've been doing this for many years and I cannot get usable audio all around a track. It's simply impossible. One thing that I really think you should try and remember is we really need these varied shots. So make sure to mix up your FPS, but as I've stated before, it is so important to get variety into whatever you're filming, especially cars. Everyone has seen these amazing rollers. You're gonna see that amazing roller we did with the Alexa35. I'm sure it looks amazing, but it doesn't really help us if no one wants to watch it, because if that's all we show, then it's gonna become boring very quickly. So, for example, over there, we can see that they're working on the car, and in a moment I'm gonna head over there, get some B-roll of that, and just have something to cut into in between the amazing car rollers and maybe having this screaming of the engine, we just swap over to that. We take a chill pill, we calm it down. I'm gonna film that in 50 FPS, so we get some nice B-roll. Again, variety, ebb and flow. You need to go up, you need to go down. If you have a good song you can follow, you can probably just try and follow that song. Let me give you a short overview of the car rig. We have the Flowcine Blackarm using double struts and double springs to hold up this quite heavy package. Of course, the Ronin R2 gimbal. It's a fantastic gimbal. The motors are so strong. We've done over 200 kilometers an hour using this rig, and it's held up absolutely fine. We even had a matte box on the lens, and it wasn't even affected by the wind. Quite amazing, honestly. Of course, the Alexa35. It's Marek's Alexa35. He is mad enough to let us use it on the car rig. Don't ask me why, but the images are absolutely superb. We're using the C-Motion to do a follow focus, a Sony Cine Alta 35mm lens, so 50mm-ish full frame equivalent. The sensor is not a Super 35, but it's close enough, so let's call it a 50mm-ish. We use the DJI Transmission to get video from the car rig into the car, so we can control the gimbal, we can control the focus, and we also have a director's monitor. It's quite a simple car rig, but the results you get is honestly amazing. Now, what makes the Blackarm from Flowcine really special is the dampeners we have. Of course, we have the up and down dampener, nothing special, but we also have the pitch, so when you're accelerating or braking, and this is a big one, when you're going through the corners, we get the roll dampening as well. Now, why is this special and why do we care about this? So the thing is, when you want stable footage, just minimizing the shocks and vibrations is the most important thing. So when you're suddenly braking for a corner where you're accelerating all we can, the pitch axis and the roll axis is gonna even out the shocks. It's gonna make it so much more stable. We have the anti-vibration mount as well. It's a really nice one. And it really does reduce all of those micro jitters you have in every car ever. But with the car rig up here, we can drive at full force as fast as possible. And this one is gonna keep up, and the limiting factor really is the car more than the rig itself. For me, it's really important to have a vertical space that we can work on, where we can put the cameras, where we can assemble stuff, disassemble stuff. I really recommend having a camera cart, or at least a folding table, just somewhere where we can offload the stuff, because having everything inside bags, if you have a lot of equipment like we do, please don't do that. Just bring a folding table at least. They're 50 bucks at any hardware store, and it's a really good investment. Before the track day, we always get together and make up a short and sweet shot list. And this is simply to keep up the variety. Otherwise, it is so easy to fall into the trap of everyone getting these amazing shots. And as I talked about before, we need variety more than anything else. So we have a simple shot list. It's usually 1 to 2 A4s filled with different kinds of shots that we think we would need. And as you do them, you can block them off, and it doesn't really matter if 2 or 3 people have done them. The main important bit is that you do not have 6 people doing all of the amazing shots, and then you forget about doing the smaller stuff, and some would say maybe even the more important stuff. So that's why it's so important to have this shot list. We have it hanging inside there in our little media box, and I really recommend that you also do the same thing. Even if it is just you, it is so important to remember the shot list, because track days go by so quickly. Just keeping a basic shot list in your notes is so important, and I really do recommend that. Then you're going to be so relieved that you looked at the shot list, you have the look. Once in a while, you made sure you got what you needed. Plan your shots, plan what you want, and you're going to have a much better result than if you just wing it and try and fix it in post. Trust me, I've been through this road. Don't try and fix it in post. Something that I slept on for so many years was wireless communication. So being on track can actually be quite lonely, because you're far away in some hidden off corner and it's just you with your camera. Having this to be able to talk to shit during the day is actually quite amazing. You can also coordinate a lot better, and if you're missing something and you need something, you can just speak in the headset. For us, this has been a game changer, and we bring it to every event. It is so nice to have, and I would not be able to live without it. Additionally, you also look a lot more professional, which is always a bonus. You know, being here on track, it's so fucking loud, but I love it so much. Like, we do maybe 10 track days per year, and it's my favorite days. There's nothing else I would rather do on any day of the week. So let me give you a couple of tips that you can use when you're out on track filming yourself. Lens-wise, I usually stick with a 35mm full frame equivalent. It's a nice balance between a wide shot and a tight enough shot, so if the cars are coming up against the bumper, you can see the whole car. If they're a bit far away, we still get that really speedy feeling. But something I really like is having a zoom lens. My DCO film 35-80 is the perfect lens to have on track actually, because the 80mm we can isolate the car so much and we can get this background separation. However, it doesn't look as fast as if we're using a 35mm. So having the zoom lens is really, really nice because we can swap around on track and get a variety of shots, which again, variety is what you need. When it comes to the f-stop, you generally want to try and keep the whole car in focus. We usually end up using from f4 up to f8. We never go below f4 unless it's really low light. And we never really go above f8 either, because the lenses we usually use do not perform that well if you step up even more than that. You also do want some background separation, you do want some background blur, but maybe not that creamy bokeh look you would often find, because only having the headlights in focus and the rest of the car not being in focus, that is not a good shot, I'm sorry to tell you. Also, if you're using manual focus like we often do, the focus puller is going to thank you for using anything other than f1.2. Another thing that took us a long time to realize is that you have to let the car go. You can try locking off the image, looking at the same point and letting the car you're filming pass through the frame. There's no need to always chase the car, please try and remember that. Sometimes we do not stick to the 180-degree rule, especially if we're starting to zoom in a bit and we're passing the 50mm mark. Then we might step down to 144 degrees or maybe 130 degrees. And that is simply to keep the car sharper. The thing is, on these rigs, there's so much vibration going through everything. Our rig is really dialed, and for the most part we can keep it vibration free and the footage looking really sharp. But sometimes we're going fast enough and sometimes we zoom in so much, so every little vibration is going to be visible. So if you reduce the shutter speed, your images are going to be more sharp. Do not pick up engine sounds while you're doing this. The cars you're filming are probably kind of holding back, so there's no real point in picking up engine sounds from them, because they're just lugging around at like 2000 RPM and just trying to follow your camera car. Instead, send the car out afterwards or before you've been filming them on track, and then mount the microphone to, for example, inside the engine bay, preferably a microphone with 32-bit recording and internal recording as well. So you can just let the microphone go and record all of the nice audio that you would like, and then later in post you can sync up the audio to what you would think the car is doing. Of course, if it's just trolling around at the same speed, you cannot have it shifting through gears. But oftentimes when we're filming automotive content and later in the editing, you know, each shot we hold it for maybe 1 to 2 seconds and then we move on to the next shot. Partly because people's attention span, and yours included, is so short that you have to do it like this. And here's a little bonus point. Again, I cannot emphasize enough, you need variety in your shots. So bring one of Tilta's electronic suction cups and a magic arm and a small Action 5 Pro, or maybe the newest GoPro 13, I believe it is right now, and mount it outside the car you're filming. So mount it outside, pointing towards the wheels, maybe on the front lip, having it really low to the ground. Anything you can do to make the footage stand out and get you variety. Having nice rollers is awesome. To make this spec car advertisement, to make this Instagram reel or whatever you're doing, you need these unique angles that make you stick out far more than just having the usual roller content on Instagram. Marek's camera survived today, the Alexa35 lives to fight another day. So we're actually quite happy. We ended the day on a high note. Nothing to complain about really. And for God's sake, do leave a like, leave a comment. Any engagement really does help the channel and I am so grateful for it. Thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next one.